He's not though. He was given a story behind Haytham and Connor.
If any out of the people that we're talking about, if anyone's a filler character, it's Haytham.
Not really.
No, if any of them is, because Edward is where it all begins as that line. Like, that line is what it is because of Edward. So he's not filler whatsoever. He begins the story, and Connor ends it.
Pretty much.
Yes, I did play the game, he says.
That's good. He doesn't just be a filler at all, by a long shot.
Yeah, I just saved this guy.
Yeah. Now he's got himself in another pickle. With another guard off the edge. Just arrow storm it.
Already did, I was already ahead of you.
But now you gotta get back up there. Because you're only arrow stormed with one guard. I think you just have a very blunt opinion of Edward. And you were like him. It took me weeks to convince this guy to even play the game.
The liberation of Roma has begun.
Neither's Edward.
Thanks to you.
Neither of them are fillers.
I'm not saying he is a filler. I'm saying out of Connor, Haytham and Edward, the whole family line, if any of them is filler, it's Haytham. If any of them were. I'm not simply saying Haytham is filler, simple as. If any of them were to be filler, it would be Haytham. Haytham's a reason to tie the family together, that's it. Edward's where it begins, Connor is where it ends. Haytham ties them together. That's it. Haytham just kind of helps the story progress as a something to drive it. Nothing more.
How? Because he's not a ladies' man doesn't mean he doesn't have any charm.
Well,
it's
whoa. I'm not fussed about that. How the hell did Altair have charm?
He didn't. He was a cocky asshole.
Exactly.
Altair was just a cocky asshole. Ezio was a ladies' man, which is fucking.
What do you expect? He
gives him a bit of character.
He's
But
Italian.
He's Italian. What do you expect? But Edward has got more of the abrupt charm. There's different ways to have charm. Ezio is a ladies' man. That's what gave him character. Altair was cocky, an asshole. Altair was cocky and an arsehole, which gave him a character. Then you've got Connor, who's a spiteful prick, which gave him character. Edward was a dishonourable pirate that gained honour, became an assassin, evolved into so much more than just, I want money. He progressed through the game, which gave him character. As you go along the game, he becomes more and more of a character than what he was right at the start. Because he's not just a Templar at the end, not just a pirate at the end. He becomes an assassin, and he works his way there, earning the trust of the assassins all the way through the game after he realises how much of a fuck up he's made. And then you get people like Shay has a character. He's the one from Rogue. He has a character because he realises what's happening is the assassin's fault. So he ends up building a character by trying to undo what he just helped create. They get character through the games. No person straight away at the start of the game has this massive amount of character. The character becomes from as you play through the game, they progress more and more and more, and you learn more about the story behind them, and you learn about the story they're creating in front of themselves. They become their own character through the game.
Not only that, another reason why they also picked Edward, he's a pirate.
Everyone loves pirates.
No, well, not just that. It's just back in that day and age, if anything represented an assassin more, which was freedom, the assassins fight for freedom. Not to be controlled, just free human choice. If anything back in that time period represented freedom more, it was a pirate. Would you agree?
Yeah. There was nothing more free than a pirate. That was the whole point of pirates. They were free from the law.
Edward creates Haytham and his death leaves him open to the elements of the Templar Assassin War. Well, yeah.
Yeah. What point are you making behind that? Is it that Edward caused Hatham to be a Templar? Because that's not true. It was the Templars that caused Hatham to be a Templar. Well, no, they introduced him as this one character, and then made him into this other one. That's how they created such a character.
Detective. He was a very individual character. He was a unique pirate. He was the legendary pirate of the time.
Not to mention the fact that he freed the one that became the biggest legendary assassin of all time. Apart from when I got left, he got around the other way.
Nice. It's the real knowledge. So I just did so many fuck ups along the way.
It's a bitch, ain't it? So you think we should have had a massive story behind him right at the start? But by saying that, Ezio, he was just a go-lucky ladies man. He didn't even know assassins were a real fucking thing. The Altair was born and bred to be an assassin. Ezio was thrown in it by the death of his family. Connor was thrown into it by the death of his family. Well, his mother. And Edward's a pirate. He is the definition of freedom. No, it didn't somewhat allow him. The Templars killed Edward and took Hatham to make him into a Templar. It was the Templars that went, I'm going to kill that guy and take his son to make him into a Templar. There was no, this could have happened, that could have happened. That's what they did. They killed Edward, sold his daughter to the slave trade, and made Hatham into a Templar. That was their plan from what they set. That was the plan from the get-go. That's what created that whole scenario. There was no ifs, buts, or maybes. It was, that's what they did. That's what they did. That's why they did it. Well, he wouldn't let his son go into the Templars.
Actually, he was trying to train his son to become an assassin.
Exactly. He was doing the very opposite of what you just said.
At which point the daughter became jealous because she wanted to be trained, but he refused.
Yeah, Ezio's story was shown in the game. So was Edward's. It progressed as the game went on. He showed him more and more.
No,
and
I think
more
what
of him.
I think what you're trying to show.
I don't understand what
Only
point
part
he
of
keeps
it.
making.
I think the point he's trying to make here. Pretty much all of Ezio's story is shown in the games. However, someone like Edward, you want to find out more, you can read the book.
Or play the other games that explains it all to you. Leg it.
In all fairness, they're not going to show you everything all at once, but they're going to show you. If Edwin didn't die, I'm sure he would have trained.
He was training Hatham. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, he was in the progress of training.
He was trying to train Hatham when the Templars killed him. He goes, no, you're going to be a Templar. Hatham didn't understand the difference between the Templars and the Assassins or anything like that.
This is why Hatham has it explained.
Exactly. He was an assassin. Or was going to be.
They're not going to show you all the media in one test. They're going to focus it through
Ezio took 3 games to tell you this story.
3 games.
3 games to
and
tell
two
you.
and 2 animated movies.
And 2 animated movies to show you Ezio's story. They did not have that kind of time for Black Flag because they had Unity in the works since before this game. This game came out a year after they started working on Unity.
They still fucked that up.
They still fucked that up tremendously. They didn't have the time frame. They went, right, we're making this game now, we're going to release it then. Everything in between could be called a filler. Revelations 3, Black Flag, Freedom Cry, Unity is just... The whole time frame was based around Unity. It was all based around that. That was it. They didn't have the time to put 3 games into Edward.
He had time to put 3 of his family members.
Yeah, they put 3 games involving his family members, which they could do. But in that respect, you could say that there was no story behind Connor. He was just an Indian that watched his mother burn to death by a Templar order that shouldn't have been carried out, had no right to be carried out, and then it just escalated from there. All he was out was purely revenge for his mother's death.
There were some great shots as that.
Yeah, that's the 3 NCS game. That's why you have so much story behind NCS Live. They didn't have the time frame to do that with Black Flag. Character behind it. I'd love to see another game about Edward. I was saying to him a little while ago, I want to see a game about Edward and his daughter. I want to see a game about Edward's daughter. She became an assassin, so
Wanted to. Never actually became.
she was trying to do Edward was story behind her. I'd love to see another game about Edward and from more of his character. I'd love to see another 2 games. Story behind Ed, not more than Edward. At the start of the game,
If anything, Edward has more story behind Connor.
exactly. At the start of the game, yeah, Connor's got more story right at the start of the game because of the death of his mother. But Edward's story becomes a lot more because of the death of various characters going through Black Flag.
I'm back. Hey, Mega.
He gains more story than Connor ever had. It's just Connor started with a little more of a story. And Connor's story doesn't progress at all. It doesn't go further than I'm looking out for revenge.
Literally, that's all Connor is. It's like, I'm looking out for revenge because of my village killed my mother.
That's it.
Right. As Hayden, you assassin. Like, training to become an assassin, so I can take away. I'd make it look like I'm doing it right. At which point, as he becomes somewhat learns that his dad's the reason, tries to give his dad a chance, and then eventually kills him. It's like, right, that's it, I'm done. Without meaning to, I've just stopped the American Revolution or whatever. Like, he saved the colonies. He didn't mean to, he was doing out revenge. Simple as.
No story behind Connor's story. The story at the start is all he had. Just say that you're looking for revenge.
Go home! Do not! All of you will die!
Give us one more, Mega. I can drop them all down by 1. He's not meant to.
He's not meant to. He was a go-lucky, free pirate. But he is believable. The time frame was all about the pirates. That was that time frame. Blackbeard, pirates, Captain Kidd, all of them lot were purely about freedom. They had no family. They had no ties to any land. It was literally, I had a boat, I had sails, I did what I please. That's all it was.
And as for the background story, he's not meant to have a background story because he's meant to be the start of the background story.
And even that, he does have a background story.
No, but I mean, like, he's not meant to have like an in-depth one. He's literally, he is the background story star for
He has family though. He's got his wife and his daughter that he didn't know about the daughter, but he had his wife that he knew about. That was the whole reason he was out there on a pirate boat when he got taken prisoner. Well, he wasn't. It was a privateer boat, which is when he got taken prisoner and set on the boat with Adewale, which then he escaped and became a pirate. The entire thing of that was trying to earn money so he could go back to England, which he says very, very often in that game, that he's trying to earn money to go back to England, buy land, live like a king for him and his wife. The entire thing he's doing is trying to help his wife live better. And that all goes belly up when his wife leaves him. So, what more do you want? There is backstory there.
There you go,
Assassin's
Assassin.
knocked him off the edge.
There you go, Assassins. You couldn't save one civilian.
Why shouldn't he be in the main game? Because he does have a backstory, he does have family, he does have a reason to be out there on the ocean. And while he's out there on the ocean, he discovers there's so much more to life than money and starts working with the assassins, ends up becoming an assassin.
He's also linked to Desmond.
Exactly, it's
Where,
Desmond's ancestor. Where Shay? What's he got to do with Desmond? There's nothing to it.
If you really want a class of spin-off games, a spin-off game is someone who isn't related to Desmond. So, for example, you've got Liberations, Freedom Cry, Unity and Rogue. They're not related to Desmond whatsoever.
See, if he's going to have a full tale, he shouldn't be in the main game. He has a full tale. The point of his full tale is it's brief. That's the entire idea behind it. The backstory is so little because the entire game is where his backstory is created. The entire game is what creates his story.
To find out more, you're meant to read the book. They're trying to sell you more of their products.
You don't even have to read the book, you just play Rogue. Well, yeah, he was already married to her, he'd already moved away with her, he was trying to make money so his life back in England could be better. But she dies before he comes back. It's not, he's out there trying to make a living. He got taken prisoner and then goes, right, I'm going to make a living any way I can so I can get back to England. Which is where he becomes a pirate and starts, you know, doing all that stuff. And he says it an awful lot, he's just trying to make everything better for his wife. The entire point of the backstory is there is none because you're the one creating it while you're playing the game. It's left
Yeah,
open.
but you are sound a bit aggressive.
It's left open to interpretation though, that's the point. It's left to interpretation. It's left for you to decide what you think he's doing out there, why he's there. We give you all these hints and clues and stuff.
You're saying backstory is huge for a character.
It's not you're creating it. You're creating the backstory.
Wait. So, you're telling me that if there wasn't a Brotherhood and if there wasn't a Revelations, then Assassin's Creed 2 would be pointless? Because where's the background story?
Where's the rest of the story of Ezio?
You are literally developing his background there and then.
Another one to say that's hanging from the
Yeah, that's why I'm here. Main reason why I climbed up this thing again.
The liberation of Roma has begun.
Grazie. Mille grazie, amico. You fight well, and for the right reasons, it seems. Could you use another blade by your side?
I don't think we can actually get any more until we do more Borgia towers.
Nope, we can't. You don't imagine any story. Edward starts with a very small story. At the very start, it's very small, very brief, very little information is giving you. You fill in the gaps. You make him who you want to make him. But then through the rest of the game, through the entire game, in fact, right from the get-go, a different story starts progressing. A different life that he's becoming, a different person, different character, is where he starts coming and working his way to it. But if AC2's how's AC2 a backstory?
No. You know what you're saying is AC2 is the background story. Yeah, it's the backstory of Brotherhood and Revelations.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, if there was no Brotherhood, there was no Revelations. So the game I'm playing now and the next game in the series, if they didn't exist whatsoever, what would AC2 be? What would it be?
It would be exactly what you're saying Black Flag is. A pointless story with a characterless character. Yeah, but if they didn't exist, it would be the exact same situation as
That's what we're saying. We're literally saying
Black Flag.
We're saying Brotherhood and Revelations weren't made. Say if they weren't made, what would AC2 be? That's what we're saying. Obviously they are made, so that's what makes AC2 a background. But what if they weren't? Because I can tell you right now, the answer you're probably going to give is the exact same answer as for Black Flag.
It would be a characterless character with no background story that's completely pointless.
Exactly. And as you're saying, AC2 is a background. Yeah, for Brotherhood and Revelations. So we know how Ezio was, what he became.
And what we're saying is Black Flag is a background story between three...
Exactly. AC2 is Ezio's beginning, just like Black Flag is Edward's.
Yeah, Ezio was 3 games of one character. 3 games.
Edward was a
games,
game and a book.
One character. Edward was 3 games for 3 characters.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Black Flag.
Black Flag was the beginning, which
Yeah.
was Edward.
Yeah.
The next part of the story is Haytham, which you see out during Rogue.
Yeah, you see him through. He didn't
Through-
have his own game though.
Through Rogue, you see the rest of his story. And then Connor is the 3rd game to do with that bloodline. Instead of 3 from one character, it's 3 games from 3 different stages of the bloodline. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's Black Flag is the back. How? No. Black Flag is the background story to Haytham and Connor, which in turn gives himself his own story. It's not saying he has no story or he's characterless. He's just providing story and character for other characters.
Even then, like you say, it's as Ezio's beginning. Yes, that is Ezio's beginning. Just like Black Flag is Edward's beginning. Edward, the rest of Edward, you're going to find out through reading the book. You have to read his book to find out the rest. Because they want you to buy other forms of media. If you want to find out the full story and all their characters, you're going to have to go out and buy all their forms of their media.
Or
Simple
Rogue.
as.
I actually get to play now.
Yeah, I've had my
For
half
the last hour and a half. For the last hour and a half.
I've had my half an hour.
For the last hour and a half I get to play, considering you've been playing since 9 o'clock this morning.
No, I haven't. You took bits over.
I'm sorry. I will love this 2 hours of play I'm going to get.
Black Flag.
Hours.
Black Flag should be AC3, not really.
No, because everyone complained that Connor had no backstory, so they created a story behind him.
Hello, if you want to get some more content, press the subscribe button just down here to join the digital army. Or you can press the logo to go back to the channel and find some other videos. Or you can press the eye in this corner to go back to the last episode.